Welcome to episode 85 of the Two Rash Challenges podcast. I'm Dave Lewis. That's Eric Neal over there. What's up, brother? How you doing?
Man, I'm all right. I'm hanging in there, just one day at a time here in the hell that is 2020.
Yeah. 2020 needs to go away, man. I'm tired of it. I'm really am.
Yeah, 2020, go home, you're drunk.
Yeah, I'm the only thing saving me is football. I mean, this weekend was great. We had a bunch of Americans playing on top teams. Liverpool playing Chelsea, Newcastle playing Brighton. But let's get to Liverpool, man, because it was a great week for Liverpool. I'm excited. They signed Thiago finally. The smooth, silky play of the midfielder Thiago. I'm excited. It really wasn't that much money. I think it's going to be under 30 million. So he puts up the jersey, the shirt. We're happy. And then out of the blue, Jota comes from Wolves. Yeah. Like a decent player, a quality young 23-year-old player that can play on any position in the front line. I mean, I have to admit, I knew who he was. I know a little bit of what kind of player he is, but it was kind of a shock because the price tag is like a Timo Werner price tag. It was like in the 40s. So to me, I'm like, Timo Werner, Jota, like, what are you, crazy? Why are we doing this? But it seems like we're doing payment plans now at Liverpool. We're not at the Walmart. We're not Walmart because we're getting quality. It's just we're putting it on layaway plan.
Yeah.
So I guess two things why we didn't get Timo Werner, I found out. He went to Chelsea because he knows he's going to start. I don't think Klopp could guarantee him a starting position. Probably so there's that. And I think the money was a problem for Liverpool. And this weird payment plan Liverpool are doing with Wolves. So I think that's why they went for Jota. And this guy might be good. Remember, Mane, he wasn't a star. Salah wasn't a star. Firmino wasn't a star. Klopp can work his magic with this guy as well. Do you value him? I do.
No, I really actually do. I think it was a good bit of business by them. The thing that about Jota is if you look at how Wolves played, he made Jimenez a lot better. Like, he's super quick. He fits in perfect with the way Liverpool plays and what you guys are trying to do. I think it was a great signing. And after seeing Werner in the Premier League, I'm like 6 2/3 maybe. Like, I mean, he hasn't impressed me yet. And I know, look, he's still young. I know it takes time to adjust to the Premier League. Players coming from other leagues, but I haven't been blown away yet by Werner.
He's speed, though. Like, I haven't seen a lot of his play over the years. I've seen enough of it. But he's quick. He scampers. He makes good run. Like, you can see his quality. I think he'll be fine.
I think he will, too. But I don't look at this as like, oh, you got Jota instead. With Jota, you have a Premier League proven player. Yeah. And we'll get to the shit show that was Newcastle a little bit later. But let me tell you, the benefit of having players who have done it in the Premier League for a couple seasons, even if they're not great, having a proven person goes a long way because you never know. There are players who dominated other leagues that come and it never happens. So
it happens a lot.
I don't really have a problem with it. I think you guys did good business there. I wasn't blown away by Thiago. It was funny because someone, I forget who it was someone we know and listen to or have been on their show or something, but they were like, why are Liverpool supporters like wanking themselves off over like a 2-yard pass every time Thiago does something? Like, he was fine.
Okay.
He didn't do anything amazing.
Let me break this down for you, Eric Neal, because Thiago arrives literally in Liverpool on Friday.
Yeah.
And he plays the next day. No training session. Doesn't know any of his teammates. This guy is world class, but I mean, he took 45 minutes.
He was fine.
He was fine. My point is, he's going to be amazing.
No, nothing was against Thiago. It was the reaction of the Liverpool supporters to him doing just average things. They were okay, great. He passed the ball. That's what you're supposed to do.
I agree. Yeah. All right. So it was a great week. We looked much better than we did against Leeds. We started out, with a lot of possession. We looked like the old Liverpool, but we couldn't break them down. That was the problem. Chelsea looked dangerous on the counterattack, and I was worried Chelsea were going to go in at half, 1-0 up, actually, and Liverpool playing really well. But the game, we had a lot of possession. We kept that high line, which Klopp loves to do. We almost got caught a bunch of times, maybe a little nervous. But Fabinho played center back, and he looked quality. Like he could be the Fernandinho, but a better version. The midfielder that goes into the center back role. I thought he looked better than Gomez, to be honest. I know it's just one game, but he looked good.
No, the positions that he takes up, there was one where, they played Werner in, but it was a little bit wide. I think if he took a better touch, he had him beat. But he didn't take a better touch, and Fabinho took such a good starting position that he just completely locked him down, just shut it down. It was actually really good. It was impressive.
It was interesting, yeah. So, look, until the Christensen tackle of Mane off the Henderson great pass, by the way, it was an obvious red card for me. You agree, I'm sure. He tackled him.
No,
I
told you while we were texting back and forth, and because you were so annoyed with my complete Liverpool bashing, I decided to work on my interpersonal skills and just have normal conversation.
Yeah, I know. It was very odd. It was very odd. It was disorienting.
You kind of missed it. Now you were like, well, I didn't want to be not annoyed that much. Come on, you got to do something.
It was a little strange. I didn't like you were saying good signings by Liverpool. You were saying they're playing well. It was very disorienting.
It threw you off. No, I'm going back to old me. Anyway, though. So
on the first goal, I loved it because it was the front three at their best. It was Salah to Firmino to Mane for the goal, and Firmino, it was nice to see him get that assist. And they're playing well, but then, Kepa makes the horrible mistake, and you and I could talk about it a little bit. I'm starting to feel sorry for this guy, Kepa. I know he made a lot of money.
He's a sports psychologist, man.
He's gone. He's gone.
You're shattered. Football, we've talked about this before. I think if I was going to break it down to percentages, of your recent success for Liverpool, I would go 45% Klopp, 35% players, and then the remaining 20% would just be the confidence and the good vibes and the feeling of just how everything's just working. It all works together to make this perfect machine.
Did that add up to 100%?
It's 100. Yeah, I got it right. So even when things are going wrong, even when you're so just sure of yourself and what you're doing and how it's going to work out, that it just works out. It's it has its own gravity.
Look, Van Dijk had a bad game last week.
But it worked out, right? And it's the exact opposite. I always talk about the cartoon that has the snowball, right? And it starts going downhill. It's this tiny little snowball, and it starts picking stuff up, and pretty soon it's got a person in it, and then there's a tree, and then it's blowing up the whole town. It works that way for confidence, and it works that way when things aren't going well. It's the worse it gets, the bigger doubts you have, and the more you start questioning yourself.
Especially when you're a keeper. You're the only guy. There's nobody else behind you. I mean, you make a mistake, it's a goal.
Yeah.
It doesn't happen for anybody else.
Yeah.
A forward, they miss a couple goals, easy chances. It's bad. Remember when Fernando Torres couldn't score at all?
Oh, God, yeah.
Yeah, the yips. But people keep feeding you the ball. With goalie, you don't get a lot of chances. His save percentage is horrendous.
Oh, no. He does not look anything like a Premier League keeper, let alone the world's most expensive goalkeeper.
I almost think Karius didn't slip this badly, and he slipped really badly.
No, think about that. Karius got a lot of abuse. I don't really see it for Kepa. Maybe they do just feel bad for him. I don't know.
I knew he was coming. When he made that touch and Mane got it off him for an easy goal, you knew it was coming. You're like, there's going to be another mistake in this. You just knew it. The way he was playing, I felt bad for him. He actually made, I think, a save or two after that, but I felt bad. Look, Chelsea, first of all, Havertz is going to take him some time. Young guy. He was great at Leverkusen. The Bundesliga is not the same. He doesn't look comfortable.
Average, man.
He doesn't look comfortable.
I'm being generous with average.
I don't think Super Frank knows where to play him.
Look, I was texting you this, and I was tweeting it out a lot during the week as well. It made me feel, this game right here, really, really good about Pulisic.
No.
Quality-wise, we were worried last year about him fitting into this team, about acclimating to the Premier League, about, will people respect him? That team without Pulisic is a shell of what they are when he's on the field. He completely changes everything. They have to put extra people on to mark him because he can take on 2 or 3 people and completely carve open your defense. If Pulisic was on the field in that match, Werner would have got a goal.
Oh, definitely.
Because Werner would have just sat around and not had to try and make everything happen on his own and dribble people. Pulisic would have carved open 2 people and then just squared it to him, and he would have had tap-ins.
No, it's incredible to see how much they missed his speed, his ingenuity, his creativity. Yeah. I mean, when he gets the ball, it's forward. Who did that other than Werner? Other than Werner, nobody else did it.
No, and you could tell he was on an island. Like, he's looking around like, somebody do something. Someone help me. Havertz could not even play like a 10-yard pass to feet. It was – I don't know,
shape
man.
Or something's going on. Like, yeah, I don't know. So
really
we'll
disjointed and weird. And
there are plenty of players that are busts. This is 2 games, not a bust, of course
not.
Not
at all.
It could take him a year. It could take him a year. And they're counting on him. Frank won't be around to coach him, I'm telling you, because he won't – yeah, anyway.
Well, no, with them spending all this money, Frank got a pass last year. It was his first season. They had the transfer ban. They were going to let him just experiment if it went even completely ugly. Unless they were going to be relegated, he had a free year. Well, now they got, 4th place. They're in the Champions League. Expectations have risen, and they've dumped a boatload of cash, like a shipping container of cash, on new players. And so the honeymoon is over. If they go and they're around, like, dropping out of the Europa League spots, I don't think they'll hesitate to pull the trigger, man, because they've got a squad they should be able to succeed with.
Won't just ask you anything. They got Chilwell, and they spent a lot of money on him. I'm not a fan of, no matter what the injury is, signing somebody to that kind of money when they're injured. No, I know it was like plantar fasciitis. It's a heel thing. But I'm telling you, those things can hurt, and they can linger. I don't sign him. No. I swear, I don't sign him. That could be a lingering thing. But they spend like $50 million on it. A lot of money on him.
Yeah.
But I don't sign those players when they're injured.
I'm with you.
They got to be healthy. So Liverpool, look, first of all, Chelsea, back to Chelsea. They didn't have a good game last week, even though they won 3-1. That was not a good game for them this game.
Oh, you're right.
Wellesley, man, he picked them number 1. Let's see about that. We'll get to our picks.
I was talking to Wellesley. He's like, I'm going to get killed by Dave on the podcast for my prediction.
Yeah, I don't know what he was smoking.
It's too early for all that. You never know. It's a long season. We have 36 matches.
That's fine with Wellesley's pick. It's just incredibly – I don't know what he's thinking. If Chelsea is on all cylinders, everything works, maybe 3rd. So for him to pick 1.
Look, you can't really say that, though. I mean, look, over a season being consistent, I understand, whatever. But if you had everybody in that match healthy for Chelsea, if they had all their players,
maybe
it would have been a different game.
I agree, but you're the first one to say the coach in this sport makes the biggest difference.
I agree.
And the jury is out on Super Frank.
Oh, no, I'm with you. Look, people were anointing him like, the next great English manager. He's going to take over the England team and this and that. Look, they always do that to English managers. They build them up, and I can't remember the last one that was very, very successful. So, look, the jury is still out on them, but 2 matches in a row, you just look at them, and like, for all of the firepower and all of these great signings and everything, you're just like,
before Christensen got the red card, they weren't doing much.
No, but neither were you.
We were huffing and puffing, and they were definitely defending well.
They looked comfortable in defense until that happened. But that's the problem with Liverpool is they keep doing that, and then they okie doke you, and your pants get pulled down, and you all of a sudden
you get a spanking.
Decide if you're going to rugby tackle the guy or not.
Yeah. All right. So all's good in my world. I feel good. So I'm excited, and it's bizarre that I was excited on Sunday to watch your game, because I was like, I feel like you got some promise. Last week was a good result. Maybe this year it's going to be a little more interesting to watch. I sat down. The game started. I lasted I actually lasted the first half, and I was like, what a waste of time, and I turned it off. So take it away, Eric Neal. Give us your doldrums. Give it to us again.
Look, I'm not qualified to really bring light to the shit show that was that Brighton match. So I'm going to turn it over to my man on the streets of Newcastle, Andrew Wells.
Hello, this is Andrew Wells, live from Newcastle. And obviously, I'm going to have to do things a bit different this week because of the whole situation over here. But so, rather than other fans' opinion, this is my opinion from the Brighton game. And honestly, when I looked at it, I went in thinking, okay, we'll look decent. I thought, right, yeah, we can, good chance. Get top of the league, maybe, although that was ambitious. But obviously, we came in, formation came, I was like, well, if it ain't broke, why fix it? But then, obviously, as it came on, you're like, after the first couple of minutes, like, oh dear God, just outplayed constantly. Like, the same formation and everything does not work against Brighton, what we've learned. I mean, a hoofball against blooming 6'4" defenders is not going to work. It's common knowledge. And then ASM, he's getting a bit. I thought he had a really bad game, but the penalty, it's a bit on the fence for me. I think it wasn't a penalty because he got the ball at the end of the day. But I can see why people are arguing when I look online. But obviously, we'll move on with that. And then I need to talk just about that blooming Lamptey guy. He basically raped us in that game. Just how bad, how bad he was just going through everyone. It was just, you just look like, just take him down. Take him down, although that was kind of annoying at the same time because of the amount of fouls. I mean, halfway through the game, I was like, stop fucking fouling. Well, it's obviously one of them things, and then obviously it's a really funny one, but then I was like literally screaming watching my TV, just make a fucking sub. That's how bad it got. Like, Carroll was doing nothing. I mean, the way I'm looking at it, if that was Joe Linton, people would be calling for him to be blowing hand off the bridge over here. That's how bad it was, like his performance. But obviously it's going to go quiet because it's Carroll, which is my personal view. And obviously, even talking about this is making us a bit down right now. It's just one of those things. But I'll try to keep it short because obviously there's not really much to talk about. So obviously I'll end it there, and then hopefully as we move on to Spurs, we're sort of pulled back together. But with Bale coming back, I don't really see it happening. So until then, I'll see you all next week, and I'll try to get some more content to try and follow the regulations over here.
All right, as always, I want to thank Andrew for that report. Well, we've got video now.
But yeah, we saw him.
We've moved on to the 21st century. We don't have our dictaphone recorders out, and we can actually.
No, if you're watching us on YouTube, yeah, you get to see Wellesley speak.
Yeah.
Not just his voice. You get to see
it. And comments from Brighton, me, apologies. I know this is your biggest pet peeve when people say, oh, if you watch the YouTube, then you can see it, but tough luck. I'm sorry.
No, Wellesley looked good in his kit, even though he was a little wrinkly, though. I'm just kidding.
Oh, beautiful. Beautiful. Retro look.
What happened, man? Come on.
Well,
that was a shit show.
He really spelled it out. So Here's the issue. The Cabbage got lucky. He did what's the movie, Mike Bassett, England manager?
Yeah.
He did the Mike Bassett, England manager. We're going to play the 4-4-2 and rolled out with, Callum Wilson and Andy Carroll in the first match, and it worked. And so he thought, well, guess what? I'm not going to look at what the other teams that we're playing next week is like and how they set up and what they're good at and what they're going to do. It worked last week. Second time's the charm. Let's just do it again. And it works maybe sometimes if you're for a rec league coach or, like my club's U13 manager. He's more sophisticated than that. I won't even slander him that way.
Right.
He's way better than that. But if you're just some low-level schmuck and you know one formation, and then cool, then you roll it out again.
Yeah.
The problem with, like what Wellesley said was, you've got these 6'8", I'm exaggerating slightly, but center back guys, and you're playing let's lump it up to the center forward.
Right.
And so, I mean, you're going right into their hands. Like exactly what they're set up to stop is what we were set up to try and do. So it was ridiculous. And then we got Lamptey'd. If you remember their first match, that guy, the Chelsea reject, right?
Well, he's
a beast, man.
Yeah.
The guy is good. He just I mean, ripped us up and down the right side. I mean, there was nothing we could do about it. The best thing we did was when John Joe completely just two-footed his ass. Like, that's all we could do was hope that they'd be quick enough to foul him.
Right.
If a lot of people online, it was funny, they were freaking out about all of this. And in my mind, it wasn't the worst Newcastle performance. I'm thinking back to last year, a lot of the shit that I saw. And, you know, it wasn't good. We weren't set up properly, and we got punished.
Yeah.
But, you know, so one thing I want to do, though, is I do have to offer an apology.
To who, me?
No, not you. Forget that. So Gianfranco Shola, someone that follows us, we follow him as well. He's at Shola Gianfranco.
Is he still playing, Gianfranco Sola?
Right. No, this is great. It's got the funny, like, Abby picture with, like, a mashup of all these different players, right? So anyway, he said, was Brighton the worst performance under Bruce? And so I put in there, seriously, every match until Project Restart was a farce last year. Even the matches we won were terrible. Yeah. Brighton was frustrating, but not that bad. We just got lamped, and the cabbage didn't have an answer. And he said, we didn't have a single shot on target. They should have scored about 7 at home. And I said, do you remember the Everton match before Lejeune absolutely stole a point at the death? That was without question the worst football I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah.
And he said, okay, well, that's your answer. I asked a question, not made a statement, by the way. And I was like, I'm not yelling at you. Does it sound like I'm yelling at you? Sorry, I've been on edge lately. This is conversation. He said it did, in fairness. He had the laughing emoji. A lot of awful games to pick from. I said, sorry, not joking about being on edge. The world is gone. An awful football match doesn't help. So I got to apologize. I really, really am. I think I'm shouting at people without even shouting. This happens to me at home a lot of time with the wife and kids, where I'm like, hey, what are you doing over there? They're like, geez, I'm sorry, you know, I didn't mean it. And you're like, I don't know what you mean. I'm not even mad. And they're like, you're yelling at me. Why are you shouting? Like, it's
Need your hearing aid up.
Somehow, when I write, it comes out as shouting. There's no caps or anything. I think maybe there's an exclamation point might have thrown on this seriously.
I don't feel like you shot at me. You're just very stern. You're very stern.
Yeah, well, no, I think I'm just coming across stern. So anyway, at Shola Gianfranco, my bad. I really actually
accepts your apology. I don't.
I've been struggling with bad back, COVID fatigue, work-related stress, and general all-around I'm fucking over it syndrome. So
no, you're cranky. You're getting cranky. You're Larry David, man. You're cranky.
Apparently my bad.
So I don't want to talk more about Newcastle because it gives me a stomach ache.
No, I mean, look.
Really,
here's the thing. ASM.
Always put your positive spin.
No, ASM did his ankle. The cabbage will probably tape him up and put him back out there.
Get Almiron in from the beginning.
No, again. Wellesley and I both. Almiron should be playing in the 10 role, which is where he would be best for us. We think that he'll probably like read the comments and go, oh, another lineup. That's a great idea, guys. And so there's hope for the cabbage. But the problem is we're rolling into play Spurs next. And I don't know if you watched the Spurs match.
Yes, we'll get to that.
In the first, if we get first half Spurs, I think we got a prayer. If we get second half Spurs, I'm telling you, might as well roll the kids out and just get everyone healthy. So I don't know, man. We'll see. I'm not that thrown off. It wasn't the worst diabolical performance like we were getting last season. It was just set up really
poorly. What was the scoreline? What was the score?
3.
How you're the only person I know who can take a 3-0 scoreline.
No, but I watched the whole match.
Yeah.
And it was the 2 gut punches in the beginning.
Yeah.
And then when you've just basically given out after, the end, where our guy got karate kicked in the face. Did you see Jamal Lewis take the cleat to the face? And people are like, that's not a red. What the heck? Yeah. Look, his face is red from all the blood. Maybe we could get that. I mean, come on, man. Red.
Yeah, it's going to be an interesting season. I hope it's not the same old Newcastle where you go from week to week.
Listen, we were in, I think, 3rd or 4th place last week. We've gone back to our natural position in the table. We are now 13th.
I can't wait till you get to 10th, like you said.
Feels like home.
Let's move on to some other games here, man, in the EPL, man. I mean, there's so many goals are just flying in. I don't know if the defending has just gone to the crapper or what. But first of all, I want to get to Manchester United because that completed my Saturday. I was like, oh my God, United lost to Crystal Palace at home. Manchester United and Ed Woodward. Why is Ed Woodward taking so long to sign these players? Get some players in. Sancho's not coming because he looks great at Dortmund. He's not coming. Nobody's coming, I don't think. Okay, that midfield is slow. Slow.
Our guy Shingy on
our boy Shingy.
Yeah, he I'm spacing the podcast now. The Score podcast.
Yes.
Yeah, check him out. Great podcast. He put something on there about like I don't get it, man. Like, what's the difference? We've spent a bunch of money. Like, City has spent a bunch of money. What's the difference? Ole is not Pep.
Yeah, or Klopp, or
Klopp, right? But let them switch teams, right? Give Ole Man City with their roster and everything that they have, and stick Pep with that same exact Manchester United squad. Who finishes on top?
Yeah, I see your point, and I agree with you. But boy, that talent on City might even cover up Ole's shortcomings.
I promise you.
Yeah.
That Pep would finish ahead of Ole if they switched.
Oh, I mean, there's enough talent on Manchester United. Here's the thing, though. It's Ole being Ole, and it's the midfield being slow. They need signings. Van der Beek, good signing. He looked good.
You got to stop, though. Look, you could put Messi and Ronaldo on that team, and they would not win the league.
Then get rid of Ole. I mean, I don't care.
That's what I'm saying.
Keep Ole at the wheel because then I can laugh at them. So I'm fine with that. But Crystal Palace at home to Uncle Roy? Come on.
No, I'm telling you. They have the players. He has zero tactics. They don't respect him. They like him because he's the nice arm around them guy. But he sits there in the stands and just makes faces.
He looks like a nice chap, though. He looks like a nice guy.
Listen.
My kind of guy.
He's a Norwegian Steve Bruce.
You forget your analogy here. What about if Roy Hodgson is on Manchester United and let's say Ole goes to Crystal Palace? I mean, is Roy will do better? Well, that's not the same.
That doesn't help. That
doesn't help. I'm sorry. I'm just trying to get Uncle Roy a better job than Crystal Palace. I'm just saying.
If Uncle Roy was in Newcastle, we'd be in the top 10 for sure. I guarantee you. We have more talent than they have.
Look, in my stumbly bumbly way, I'm saying you're correct. The manager makes a huge, huge difference.
Ole's not it. Look, Ole will get you like basically an Arsenal kind of vibe.
Ole or Frank? Ole or Frank? Who's better?
Who would I take? I'd take Frank.
Take Frank.
Minute. Yeah, you know why? Because Frank's not afraid to sit people down, and he has an idea of what he's trying to do. He hasn't got he's just now got the players to do it, but it's going to take a while to get them all acclimated and playing together. Ole's had the players to do it, and they keep bringing it. Look, Fernandes was one of the best signings in the Premier League last season. You got Van de Beek. That's good. They bought a right back and a center back. Say what you want about the slab head, but, I mean.
Maguire's not good, man. I'm telling you. Lindelof is a catastrophe.
My God.
That's terrible. But Maguire, I'm not seeing it either.
Well, yeah, he might be covering for Lindelof. He's trying to play two positions.
Yeah, maybe.
All I'm saying is they've spent a bunch of money and have quality players. They have a World Cup winner, Paul Pogba, on that team. They've got some of the best, like Greenwood, one of the best young players. People are comparing Greenwood and Sancho, like, as equal in ability. I mean, Rashford, just go down the list, man. Martial.
There's enough talent there, right? Yeah. We'll see.
There's no reason they should struggle that way. That's down to coaching.
If they then are, let's say they're in 7th place by end of October, Ole's gone, isn't he? Let's say he's like 7th, 8th, and he's, the results aren't looking good. The football isn't pretty. I mean, are you just getting rid of him or just going to ride it out? What is Manchester United going to do?
I feel like they'll ride it out. I think they'll give him till the end of this season. I think they wouldn't have fired him if they didn't make the Champions League last season. I blame the owners to a point. My point is, no matter who they buy, I don't care. I'm not even joking. If they brought Messi and Ronaldo both and put them on that team with Ole, they're not winning the league.
So after 2 weeks, and I know it's only two rounds, where do you see that the league got stronger? Because you said it was such a weak league last year. Tell me where it got stronger. I mean, City made a couple signings, but not major.
No,
Tell me how this season everybody got stronger. Or
that's the problem is I had high hopes for like someone to knock you off your perch. And I think you are going to do not as well as you did last year, but I don't see it.
You know why? Because even though they played poorly last week and they played okay this week. That's 6 points still. I could tell, Eric, you're sensing they won't be as dominant, but it still might be enough.
No, I hate to admit it, and it's going to be a horrible, miserable, long season. Where's the challenge going to come from? We just said it. I don't care. Who are you going to bring in? Like, you could fire Ole today. Who are you going to bring in that's going to get that team to get more points than Liverpool? I don't see it. Look, Chelsea was really the only hope.
On paper. And it was all on paper.
Well, no, or City. But I mean,
Did you watch the game today? Did you watch the game against Wolves?
I listened to it.
Yeah, well, I watched it. And the first half, they were dominant. They looked great. City looked awesome. The second half, they didn't. It was 2-1. Game was in the balance. I mean, easily could have been drawn. Wolves could have actually won the game. 3-1, finally City wins, but it was like the last kick of the game, Jesus basically scored because he just likes to pad his goal-scoring tout.
Okay, but their first match back.
I know.
That's week 2. And you gave up 3 goals to Leeds in your first match.
Yeah, but you know what?
You can't no, don't do that. You can't.
No. Hold on a second, Eric Neal.
You cannot have it both ways.
It felt a lot like last year where City dominated play, but still didn't look great defensively. You still had Fernandinho playing. What is he, 35? John Stone's still playing. Laporte's not back yet. Sounds familiar to me. Where's Laporte? Injured, isn't he? Or he has COVID or something.
That is the biggest issue, is Laporte being
that was last year. So, I don't see we'll see about this.
I don't see it either. That's my biggest fear is I look around and I'm like, I mean, did you see the table, man? Do you see the table? Leicester City in first place. They've got off to another good start. If they didn't bottle last year, they really should have been in the Champions League places.
They're fun to watch. I mean, they won 4-2. Let's go. Let me just get your pick. What?
City play Leicester next week, which I think is going to be a tough game for them. And you've
got
a
lot of goals. A lot of goals.
I mean, is Arsenal the only hope? I mean, if Arsenal even get a point against you, I'm calling Arteta manager of the year right now.
Okay.
I'm not even joking.
They didn't play well this week. They didn't play that well, but they have 6 points.
Yeah.
Look, Spurs, Southampton. We talked about. Bale signs with Spurs. You think it's a good signing?
I think so.
I think it's stupid. I think it's not going to work. I think this whole thing's going to implode. But you think otherwise. That was a game of 2 halves, right? Oh. Southampton dominated Spurs in the first half, like you said.
They should have been down 3-0 in the first half.
They had a stat that Spurs didn't get. I think it was like 2 or 3 balls into their penalty box the whole first half. They didn't play at all near the goal at all.
Do you want to know what's funny though? Now that I've watched all 9 episodes of the Spurs documentary, I really enjoy watching Spurs matches because I feel like
I know them.
I know them now.
Sonny, Kane.
Yeah. They went into at halftime, and I'm like, I know exactly what he's saying to them.
Me too.
He's like,
you're more passion.
You're not passing the ball quick enough. Look, 1-2, put the ball. I'm thinking, like, look, Jose.
I need more from you.
Yeah.
Look, Spurs win 5-2 over. I mean, Southampton. I've never seen such a poor defensive performance as that second half.
4 assists.
How does Kane get 4 assists?
No, can I tell you the most beautiful thing of all of this?
What?
I signed up to play Fantasy Premier League again this year.
I forgot.
I'm terrible at it. So I'm in a league with our friend Marcus's brother.
Yeah.
And then Halftime Oranges also had a league. They have 1 million people in it. Luckily, we won't bring as much shame in that league because there's so many people you won't notice unless we're dead bottom, which I haven't checked yet this week.
Right.
But, I'm in it. And because of how shitty they were in their first match, I benched Son.
He goes on to get 4 goals.
Oh my God! Like what the hell?
That would have put you in first place.
Not only am I bad at selecting like a team to begin with, but I actually selected correctly and benched the guy. 4 goals.
Who was your strikers? Who did you get anybody good?
I had Kane and Jimenez. And Jimenez.
That's good. He scored today.
Yeah. So look, Kane.
He did all right.
No, he's all right. What did he get? A goal and 4 assists, and then Jimenez got a goal.
No. I mean, Kane was a good one for you. But
think of the points though. I'm watching these goals go in, and I'm like, I got Son. I click on it, I'm like, I benched Son.
I've done that. Only other game I wanted to mention was Leeds are going to be fun to watch.
Yeah.
A train wreck in the back, but they beat Fulham 4-3. So there's been 14 goals in their 2 games combined with the teams. For 2-4-3 results, 1 win, 1 loss. They'll be fun. I know they're staying up. They're staying up.
How do you ever give up 7 goals in 2 matches and you're even on goals against?
He's a mad scientist.
Hey, Mitro's on fire.
Yeah, your boy, the crazy man.
So
that's it. We'll look at once we get about 4 or 5 games in, we'll look at the standings. We'll break it down a little more. But for now, Liverpool look good. I'm happy with them. Newcastle looks mediocre. Everton, we didn't talk about them. They haven't played many teams yet, but they have 6 points, and they look good with James Rodriguez. Calvert-Lewin looks awesome. He had a hat trick. So the Everton, I think I'll give Wellesley credit. That was his surprise team. So Wellesley, you might have gotten that one right.
Look, I think I would probably like sell one of your children to science if we could just have the season end with the table how it is now.
Yeah.
No, okay. I wouldn't do one of my own children, but okay, Leicester in first, Everton second, Arsenal third, and Liverpool fourth. Oh,
what if it ends that way?
No, that's what I'm saying. That I would
put your money down.
I would do some like fairly criminal things to guarantee that happening. That would be amazing.
Even if I know Leicester faded last year, but I love them as a club still, and they might not have enough to really go for top 6 even, but I love the way they play, and I love Choppers Rogers.
All season long, man. Look, we always talk about what's a bottle job and what's not a bottle job. That was a bottle job.
That was a bottle job.
They had it in their own hands and threw it away at the end.
I know.
Yeah.
I know I had Brendan Rodgers. I remember you saying Klopp, if Klopp leaves eventually. I was like, I'll take Brendan Rodgers. But I'm so flip-flopped. I'm like, oh, my God, he's amazing. I love his football. Towards the end, I was like, he stinks. He was found out. Rodgers was found out.
Whoever you have, your next manager after Klopp is dead man walking. I don't care who
it's David Moyes. It's David Moyes.
It is. It's David Moyes.
We should just bring him in to take the hit and then get a real coach.
No, that's right. You because you don't want to bring a good coach in and have
Moyes. Bring him in. He'll be available. He's going to get fired from West Ham anyway.
Now you're thinking, Lewis.
Now, before we get to the rest of Europe, I thought we'd just quickly go to MLS, our Columbus Crew, talk about them. They're the best team in the league. They're top of the Supporters Shield. They beat Nashville. What are they called? Nashville SC? I don't know what they're like that. Whatever. They played Nashville, which they're okay for an expansion side, but they beat them 2-0 at Mopfree Stadium here in Columbus. Santos scores. And did you see Zardes, that back heel?
God. Such a nice goal. I'm telling you, Giacinho, man.
He's getting better, isn't he, with age?
No,
look, he's still not our savior on the U.S. men's national team, but we give Triple G hell for taking MLS players. I'm fine if they take him.
No, but here's my thing. I'm taking him over Morris. I'm tired of all these Morris fanboys. I've been fighting these people for 2 straight weeks, and they're like, oh, Zardes. And I'm like, your guy is like 6th in scoring in the shittiest like conference or federation in the world. Everyone's like, MLS isn't that bad. I'm like, we're not even the strongest league in our region. We're the 2nd best league in CONCACAF.
Weren't you arguing that with some people? They were saying take Morris over Reyna? Take Morris over Reyna on the national team?
Yeah, I'm like, are you high? He's only 17. Crazy. Yeah, you know what? He's 17, and he's winning penalties and scoring goals in the Bundesliga. So, yeah, guess what? I'm taking him over Morris.
So that's the Crew. We're excited about them. They have 27 points. They're fine.
Philly, though, I thought we were well clear. Philly's only 3 points behind us.
Did they win the other day? Yeah, I know. They're only 3.
That's crazy.
It's between us and Philly, yeah. Let's get to the rest of the Americans. You mentioned Reyna, and Gio Reyna, and what a game he had. I was so excited to watch Dortmund, and it paid off. He scores their first goal against Gladbach, which is a good team, and it was a nice goal. It was a really nice goal. He had a bad touch in the box, but then it ricocheted, and then he got the ball wide right, and then he just slotted it between, I think it was his defender, the defender's legs. It was a great goal. I was going nuts. I felt like I was giving birth. It was like so exciting. I was like, Gio Reyna, I love him. And then he wins a penalty, which, was amazing. And he played, he was almost man of the match. He was that good. I mean,
they had a great on Twitter after the match. Him and Holland are standing there, and they're interviewing Reyna, and he's just trying to be humble and just, I got to get better and all this. And Holland is hilarious. He's just like, Captain America. We call him Captain America. We love him. Like, it's just, no, I got it wrong. The American Dream.
The American Dream?
It's Captain America, but they call him the American Dream.
That's awesome.
No, it's so great. But
Captain America was his dad. Claudio Reyna. Now, here's the thing. Watching this game, first of all, they start two 17-year-olds, Bellingham from England and Reyna. And he gives an assist to Reyna. Holland and Sancho are 20. That's 4 of your team that are that young.
Do you know how much money they're going to make off of selling those 4 players?
It could be $500 million. $500
million. Yeah. At least, minimum, depending on how long they hold out.
So I give Holland this year. He gets 1 more year. Sancho, I think, is going to make it 1 more year. Maybe he goes in the January transfer, but 1 more year max. Reyna, I see at least 2 more years, 3.
Holland and Sancho are both over $100 million, guaranteed.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Guaranteed.
Don't you think more? Don't you think Holland's worth more than that?
No, I'm saying minimum.
Minimum, yeah.
Minimum.
They're fun to watch, right? You're going to watch every game this year.
Oh yeah, right? I love them, man. They're great.
Gio Reyna is going to start every game, most likely.
Yeah. The problem is, you look at them; they really should be able to challenge for the Bundesliga. But then you look at Bayern Munich. Like, God bless.
No, as good as they are, Bayern Munich has great young talent with older players. They're just stacked.
I heard the Dest deal is almost done. That he's going there.
So they say he's not polished, but still, he's Davies on one side, Dest on the other. That'd be awesome. I don't know if he's going to start. Will he start Dest
not
for that
right
kind
away.
of money?
I don't know.
Let's get on to more Americans in Europe because it was just incredible this weekend. Weston McKennie starts for Juventus. Our guy, an American, is playing with Ronaldo. He's playing with Ronaldo, man, and starting and playing well. He played 90 minutes. He almost scores twice, and he got like an 8 out of 10.
Thing, man. I did the thing because I've gotten used to us doing well in Europe now, and so I don't normally do what we used to do, like when Donovan was at Everton or like
Same here.
When Pulisic was first at Chelsea, just in the
don't have a bad touch.
Scrutinize every touch, and you're like, oh, that was a little bit off, miscontrol or whatever. I'm just like, they're going to do well. It's fine.
We fretted over 4-yard passes with those guys,
but now I got that feeling back kind of with McKennie, but he fit in. He was there, man. Like. He played the whole 90 minutes. He didn't get subbed out. And, all I heard was good things about his performance. Everyone.
I did too, man. I did too. Oh, I was so excited.
It was like a centimeter off the line, man. Oh.
I know. But, look, he's not known for his scoring, but he can push forward. Tyler Adams, I actually watched that game. What I did was I watched the Newcastle first half. It was so depressing. I was like, I'll watch Leipzig instead. So I watched Tyler Adams second half. Solid game. Yeah. Solid game by Tyler Adams. And then we get to the bad part of the Americans. I watched some of Josh Sargent, actually, because with Werder Bremen, he's going to start. And he started this game. It wasn't really his fault because the system was all screwed up. He was tracking back on the first goal, and he had to defend. And strikers don't know how to defend. So he lost his defender, and the guy scored. It was really his fault. He had a couple good plays, but he didn't have a great game. Jonathan Brooks, our boy, John Anthony Brooks, he could have won the game with a wide-open header, and he missed it over the bar. I don't know if you saw that. Not good. So
people are saying Sargent needs to get out of there. Like that.
Well, the team's no good, and
the
he
toxic
looks
environment. Team's no good. Like everyone was saying, no one was really bashing him, but they were just bashing the situation. It was pretty funny. I wish I could remember who tweeted this because I like to give people credit even when they do stupid things. But someone put together this lineup, and they said this could be the starting lineup for the national team. Okay, so you got Stefan.
Yep.
Then you got a back four of oh wait, do I have
Dest?
No, and the guy didn't mean to put it. I don't know. He put Sargent at left back, which is stupid. I don't know why he did that. But, he has Brooks at center back, Richards at center back, Dest at right back, Adams and McKennie in the two holding midfield roles, Reyna playing the 10 right behind them, and then Pulisic, Weah, and then he put Aronson from Philadelphia Union in there. And I'm like, I see what you did there. You took him instead of Sargent and stuck him in because really Sargent should be center forward. Weah should be on the right. Pulisic should be on the left. And then what do we have? What do you got? Like Reggie, Nick Cannon, or who's going to – maybe Dest will be on the left and Reggie, Nick Cannon will be on the right. But it was just funny because he put together this elaborate thing. Everyone's like, yeah. You're like, hold on a minute. You must be a Union fan.
Can I tell you something, though? I know this sounds wacky. I've seen 3 Philadelphia games. They played in the Crew. I don't know why I was watching him, or highlights maybe. He's going to Europe. I mean, he is going to Europe. Everybody thinks he is.
Yeah, but still, we have other players that are ready now.
I agree, but I see something in that guy. You watch.
No, he's fine. He'll, get some experience, some higher level. I'm all for it. I'm not anti-Aronson. I just thought it's funny you slide him in there real slick like.
So no Morris.
No.
I know you don't like. Does Morris even make? Okay, yeah, 23 players. Does he even make the squad? You say no.
So there's this Jay Hernandez guy that I interact with. He's a Galaxy fan, and we go round and round about stuff all the time. Good natured, I like him. But he was like, "Give me a 23-man roster without Jordan Morris in it."
Oh, I could in a minute.
I did. I went right down through, and I said, and because he said, "Give me a 23-man roster without 5 MLS players," because I was bashing that we don't need. And so I came up with at the end, it was like a backup keeper and then like one other player. And I'm like, we don't really need either one of them. And he's like, if you think you don't need Morris. And I'm like, we don't need Morris. We don't need him. He runs fast. Cool. What's that going to do? That's great. Did you see the highlight of him in a Sounders match where he picks up the ball around midfield, going back towards his own goal? And he does this weird hook run where he dribbles back to the middle of the field and then up the middle and through 9 players and runs in and scores. And everyone's like, look at this beautiful angle of this goal. And I'm like, that is fucking peewee soccer shit. Like, what is that? Like, what league do you play in?
That tells you that's bad defending. Yeah.
Where you could run backwards towards your own goal, cut to the middle, and then just part like the Red Sea, go down. I'm like, that is that doesn't.
Well, that's like rec league when you have somebody so much better than everybody else. They just I'll just dominate. Like when our boy Funagaki, you'd be like, I'm tired of toying with people. Now I'm just going to take on 9 fools.
I'm going to go and score a goal now for fun. Yeah. No, I was just saying that this is shenanigans. He's fine. He's in form. Great, whatever. I don't want an American team where we need Jordan Morris. That says we got a fucking problem with our team. That's what I say.
No, I don't know what you picked, but I could see like 3 MLS players. I could see taking Zardes. I probably could find 2 more. Maybe.
I'll come back next week with it. I don't want to dig for it, during the show, but yeah, I'll bring it back because I was just like, I went right through and was like, ding, 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 ding. I named 2 just to be nice about it, but I'm like, we don't need them. Like, really, we could find 3 keepers that play out of MLS, and we'd be fine.
All right, so our shows are ridiculously long, an hour and 20 minutes sometimes, and I listened to last week's show. No Fudos. I didn't find anything we said wrong, but then again, I wasn't listening with the volume up.
Good thinking.
Not bad. All right, Eric Neal. I want San Jose Earthquakes coach Mateus Almeida to get off my lawn. Do you want to know why? Yes. Are you familiar with this coach?
Yes.
Yeah. Big deal in Mexico. He took
knockout football specialist.
yeah, he loves himself. He loves his staff. He's always telling everybody how great his staff is. Look, he won the CONCACAF Champions League in 2018 with Chivas.
Okay.
Look, he's accomplished. So when they came into San Jose, which was a mess, everybody was excited, right? So earlier this year, San Jose loses to Seattle 7-1.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that's American football score, right?
I heard that, yeah.
And this past week, he's under pressure because San Jose is not doing well. He's defending himself. He's defending his staff. He's saying, don't you know my resume? Don't you know my staff, how good we are? We're awesome. We're everything. I want respect from you media, right? Then he goes out and he loses 6-1 to Portland, right? Loses. So he should come back and face the media, correct? And say, all right, let's just say something. He doesn't. He has a headache.
Oh.
He's got a headache. So his assistant coach has to do the press conference.
That would look 6-1 after a 7-1. That would do it to you.
That's 13-2 if my math is correct. So look, man, you might have done something in Liga MX, but come on, it's supposed to be a better league, and you can't take. I mean, San Jose does have some players. I don't know what he's doing, but Mateus Almeida, you need to get off my lawn with your crazy talk and take your ego and go back to Mexico.
I always kind of rated the guy, but the headache is kind of weak, man. You got to face the
Come
music.
on, man. Yeah, take a couple
Especially if
Advil.
you're crashing the media, you got to face the music. You can't do it. You got to be Jose. If you're going to do something like that, you got to be Teflon Jose and be able to take it.
Or forget the headache. Just say, like, I'm not talking to you a-holes.
Right.
Be like the a-hole guy. Don't be like, I got a headache.
Right. You do the Marshawn Lynch from the Super Bowl. I'm just here so I don't get fined. What do you think
Exactly.
that's coming up? I'm just here so I don't get fined.
And he could just fold his arms and be like, just say, like, no comment. No comment. Just be a prick.
Right.
That'd be better than saying you have a headache.
Yeah.
All right.
No. All right. This week's Gomol goes to Atopa Gangster. They're at ATOPA_gangster.
Oh.
All right. So I guess Wilfred Zaha was, feeling good about his going back and getting revenge on his former team who thought he wasn't good enough. And,
Well, he wasn't.
Right. But I mean, he's just, but you can feel good about that. If I got cut by a team and I scored 2 goals on them, I'm rubbing it in for sure. Well, Atopa Gangster wasn't really feeling that and said to Wilfred Zaha, you're still playing for Palace, bro. Be humble. Okay. Now, I don't have a problem clapping back on Twitter. I do stuff like that all the time. You usually don't get a response from the actual person.
Oh, really?
But Wilfred Zaha did actually have a response.
Yeah.
And he said, and you play for who again? With a question mark and a laughing emoji. So all I know is, if you're going to come for somebody, don't open yourself up to getting bodied like that. You could have done a whole bunch of other things that would have protected you and given you some Teflon in this situation, but you got absolutely roasted. That's one of those, too, where you get ratioed and the comments and everything are way over the likes, and then you're just bummed. So, it was a good attempt, and I can kind of vibe with where you were coming from on that, but Atopa Gangster, get off my lawn.
Eric Neal, I have an American Ask You Anything here.
Okay.
Version. So we've talked about Reyna. We talked about Pulisic's importance at Chelsea. The parallels are there. They both came from Dortmund. They both had success at Dortmund. Obviously, Pulisic had more success just because we have more of a sample size, just because Reyna's younger. But seeing Reyna, his body, he looks more built than Pulisic, to be honest. He looks, I know he's taller, he's thicker.
Man.
Yeah, at 17, he looks like a grown man. So he's got that on Pulisic. But I want you to look at both guys right now. Who has the better career? Reyna or Pulisic?
I mean, it's so
Who are you
hard
more
to
excited
tell.
by? How about that?
Right now, I'm more excited by Reyna, only because, like you're saying, the physical aspect of it. I've got the worst feeling ever, and I'm not trying to be negative because I love Pulisic. I want nothing but the best for him because it's good for America. He's a nice kid, everything, but he's just been injured so much. And the way he plays and how his body is, you get that feeling that you're never going to get like a 4 or 5 year streak out of him where
take 1 year. How about 1 year?
Right. But Reyna's got that build and that power and he looks like he's going to be good for like 10, 12 years. And I mean, think about now. What if he was good for 12 years? That only puts him at 29. You're not washed at 29 anymore. That's insane.
That's insane.
And so he's playing on a very good team in a very good league, going to be getting Champions League minutes and all of that. I think the potential, like the ceiling is just so much higher just because he's younger and he seems to, like, his body will hold up better. But it's nothing about the way they play. I mean, Pulisic
play differently.
He's so much more polished and skillful and everything right now, and has all that experience. And so, I mean, I'm not bashing Pulisic by any stretch, but I worry. I worry about the injuries.
I think talent-wise, because they're both so talented, and I think Reyna will be – I can't imagine him failing. I think he'll be successful. Pulisic, for me, without the injuries, is better than Reyna. Like, he'll be able to do more, but you can't take the injuries out of it. So I'm excited. I think Reyna will have a better career. I hope I'm wrong, man, because Pulisic is so – Pulisic could be – I know I'm not crazy here. He could be world-class. He could. He was that good last year at Chelsea. He was the best player on one of the best teams in the world.
So imagine, most times by the time you get to where people say you're world-class, you're like 25, 26 years old, right?
He's got time.
Imagine if he fights off the injuries, doesn't have the injuries, and gets a decent amount better each
2-3 years in a row of good play. Yeah,
I mean, he will be world class. I mean, without a doubt. And I don't doubt him, like his tenacity or his determination or his quality or any of that. It'll just be down to physically if he can.
I think so too. Because his speed. Now the problem is if he gets enough injuries, something happens to his speed. Technically, he's the best player we've ever had. Technically.
Oh yeah.
Without that speed, though, he's pretty pedestrian. He's like a lot of other players.
Right.
So I worry about that too. Like I hope he doesn't get a major knee injury or anything like that, which can happen to anybody. Yeah, it seems all muscular, though. It's all muscle injuries for him.
Yeah. No, I know.
All right, we both take Reyna, it seems like, at this point.
Yeah, you have to.
Yeah.
Marcus O'Malley, he's at Chasing a Cup. We've talked about him before on the show. He says, your vote for USMNT captain if we had a game this weekend. I got 4 choices for you, Dave.
Oh, yeah. Okay. I like this.
Christian Pulisic.
If he's healthy.
Tyler Adams.
Yep.
John Brooks.
No.
Michael Bradley.
Tyler Adams. No, I mean, Pulisic is not a verbal leader. He never will be. He's not. Right. He'll never grow into that role in our lifetime.
Right. At the time.
Tyler Adams, if you see, I saw an interview the other day on TV. They had Tyler Adams, Josh Sargent, and Claudio Reyna, like all the German, the American players playing in Germany, and they just all had a round table.
Gio Reyna.
What did I say?
You said Claudio.
Oh, did I? Dad. His dad wasn't there. Sorry, Gio Reyna. I loved Claudio Reyna. He was so good.
Yeah, me too.
I
saw
Tyler
that
Adams, the way he speaks.
It was great.
He's a captain. He's a captain. Look, Michael Bradley's the natural fit back in the day because it's the coach's son. I think he had those qualities of a captain. I don't think he had the talent to be the captain, but I thought he was a good captain for whatever. Even though
he's like 68 years old now. Like, I mean, why? I don't know why he even put him on this list. I mean, we'll have you got to ask him. Tweet it.
I mean, Weston McKennie should be on that before Pulisic, I think. Right?
Well, before Pulisic?
Yes.
I don't. But
because he's not a captain. Like
I don't. But I don't see McKennie as a captain either yet.
Really?
Not
I feel
yet.
like
I feel like he is taking. We're looking at what he did yesterday during that match.
Mm-hmm.
And applying that to his whole career. That was an amazing,
a big club. Schalke was a big club.
Huge step forward that he took to make it to that league, to quickly demonstrate your worth and get a starting spot to make it 90 minutes and look like you belong is a huge jump forward, but that's not where he's been his whole career.
Bonus, ask you anything. Who made the bigger jump? Pulisic from Dortmund to Chelsea or Schalke to Juventus? Which was the bigger jump?
God,
Forget money.
The thing is, like, Serie A is the Farmers League. So, you went to the biggest team.
It's the biggest club.
You went to one of the biggest clubs in the world.
Right.
Like, it's in the top 10.
It's like going to Bayern Munich.
No, it really is. It really is. Or going to PSG. It's on the same level as that. Or going to Man United or whatever. I just feel like going to Chelsea, which is like one of the top teams in the top league, is a little bit more of a step up. I mean, you're splitting hairs at this point. It's an incredible achievement.
It really is. And you're playing with Ronaldo.
Do I hear the percentages on what the people thought?
Yeah, well, they don't tell me they picked who. Yeah,
no, it was Tyler Adams with 49%.
Yeah.
Pulisic with 33, Brooks with 13, and some Michael Bradley lovers out there. There was 5% of the people think.
I think it was Berhalter who voted.
It was. He got like 12 burner accounts and was just like smashing the Bradley.
I think Bert Smoker voted for him.
Oh, you gotta be right. Yeah, no, good one, man.
All right, Eric, here's my Bell and Award winner. It's not Jose Mourinho. I always like telling you that. It's Super Frank Lampard.
Oh,
really? And usually it's Super Frank, who's at the Belland, for not playing Pulisic.
Right.
Or, it's something Pulisic related. But nothing Frank can do about Pulisic. He's injured, and I think he's being smart about him.
I agree.
I'm pissed off at Super Frank because I got to see the sad, sad face of Kepa playing. Why did Super Frank play him again? First of all, why did he play him in the first game? I don't know, when he said, he's not my guy. I don't like him. I don't like you. I think you stink. All right, let me play you. So he played last week. He had a couple of shaky moments last week, but nothing terrible. Brings him back the next week. Puts this guy through hell. Why didn't he play? What's the backup? Willie Caballero? Yeah, Caballero. Why didn't he play him? He played him a bunch of times last. He benched Kepa for Willie Caballero last year. Why did he play him again? Why would you do that to Kepa?
I just got a theory. It just popped in my head.
Yeah, let's hear it.
I think there's no logical explanation for it, but I think I might have come up with something.
Okay.
So you're a super fat Frank.
Yeah.
And you've already got Daddy Roman Abramovich to like spend the big bucks, right? Like you were the spoiled little kid, and you were like, for your birthday, you were like, I want a bike, and I want a car, and I want some golf clubs, and I want a surfboard. And he's like, okay. And he just keeps feeding me. And finally, Daddy put his foot down and was like, that's it. All the money's gone. You got what you're gonna get, but you're one toy short. You don't have a keeper. And you cry and you throw a fit and you're like, I want it, you want it. And they go, sorry, I can't do it. And you go, oh, all right, I got a fucking plan. Watch this. I'm going to roll this fucking idiot out there for a couple games in a row.
That'll show you. I
like
it. You show Roman, you're not going to give me the money? You're not going to give me that new toy?
Kepa, I'm rolling him out.
He's coming out again, and we'll just keep losing until we don't make him to the Champions League, and then you can get me a Mendy from Rennes.
TikTok, the window's closing in a couple weeks.
That's awesome, man. First of all, I think it's like $22 million for the Rennes keeper Mendy, who's he's like 28 years old. I think he's from Senegal. I mean, he looked like he had a good year in the Farmer League. But
I think Abramovich probably rolls up $22 million and snorts blow with it, like all at once.
off some stripper's chest.
Allegedly.
Okay. Well, you know what, Super Frank, you are my Bell Award winner. Not for a Pulisic thing, but for just putting Kepa out there. That was mean. That was mean.
All right, hey, unless he's crazy like a fox.
Could be.
Yeah, all right. I have another. This is like an all Zaha episode for some reason right here.
Yeah.
But this one, Zaha is not my Bell Award winner.
Oh, okay.
Did you hear Patrice Evra's comments on Sky Sports?
No.
So they had to come out and actually apologize for this later on after the show that he was on, where he was.
That's never good when you have to put apology up.
Evra on Zaha. I don't know how this came up because I didn't see the whole interview. But I'm quoting here, said, I remember he was such an electric player, but then he had this affair with David Moyes' daughter.
Is that true? David?
I have had to apologize. They came out and said, reportedly, Patrice Evra said there was a relationship between Wilfred Zaha and David Moyes' daughter. And Zaha does not know David Moyes' daughter. They've never met, and we apologize if this caused any sort of confusion.
That's total bullshit.
I don't know, man.
How does Patrice ever make that up? Why would he make that up?
No, out of nowhere, you just like years later pull out of your ass on Sky. Like, how drunk would you have to be?
Well, no, I'm saying that's a drunk
move.
move, but I actually wonder if the facts are right.
No,
you know what I mean?
Got me. Some people were like, no, it was probably Ever, and he's probably trying to blame Zaha.
Is Zaha calling him up, like saying, dude, what are you doing?
It sounds a lot, though, like somebody got with David Moyes' daughter.
Somebody did.
You remember how red his face was all the time when he was at Manchester United?
He was pissed.
Something happened. So I don't know who did it, but Patrice Evra, for making it hot, you are my Bell and the Word winner.
That's a good one.
All right, it's time for this week's Twitter shout-outs. As always, a big thank you to Andrew Wells. He's at Wellesley95 NUFC. I'm glad you recovered from the food poisoning at the aforementioned fast food joint there and got back to do a real live, actual on-camera report. So we appreciate you, brother. Also, a giant thanks to @RealUSMNT. This account posts everything you need to know about the U.S. men's national team and has been retweeting us all week, every week. We really appreciate it. Shoot the Defense podcast, they're at Shoot the Defense. The Ball Chat podcast, they're at Ball Chat 1. The Bryant and Me podcast, they're at Bryant and Me. Thanks for all of the retweets. We really appreciate it when we're promoting the show each week. It helps out. Some little screenshots, some Twitter shout outs here we got for this week. Dan, who's at WAFC Daniel, 20 Premier League clubs gave Richard Scudamore $250,000 each a couple of years back because he retired. And a football club has just died over 500,000. So I don't know if you remember, but when the last Premier League chairman resigned, they all pitched in all that money and gave him
why?
What is that, like $5 million pounds?
Like a Rolex watch? Like, I don't understand.
Right. But so Macclesfield Town Football Club has been wound up in the High Court over debts totaling more than 500,000. So they could go into administration and be done.
And this guy gets money. Okay, yeah.
Yeah, so really nice. Yeah. Me-Night Cat, who is at Me-Night Cat NCL. Okay, so it's a pub there in Newcastle. They've had really harsh restrictions come down again, especially starting in the Northeast and creeping south where they think they're going to be in full lockdown again out there. But this pub, apparently you are allowed to have large gatherings if you're going hunting because the rich people like to go hunting. So you can't go to a football match or have a party at your house or go to your mom's house and visit her or anything like that. But if you're going hunting, you can do it. So this pub did a smart thing here. It says indoor grouse shooting from the Me-Night Cat. So Paddy Power, they are at Paddy Power. Liverpool have agreed a 30 million euro fee for Bayern Munich's Thiago. Manchester United were also linked with the player, but their fans will now begin Operation He's Shite Anyway. That always happens. They're linked with somebody, someone else gets them, and they're like, never mind, that person's crap. At Footy Humor, they are always killing it. It says Gareth Bale will be the 35th player Tottenham have signed to replace Gareth Bale.
That's a good one. It's so true, right?
No, that one's amazing.
Now he's older, and now he has a bad back from playing golf.
Right. This one here, I thought you'd like this one. I can't remember who I screenshot it from, but it really made me laugh. So it says here, no matter which football club you support, you have to agree that Man United fans are the best at Photoshop. So it's got a picture of every person that Manchester United was linked with in a Manchester United uniform that they never got. You've got Sergio Ramos, you've got Neymar, you've got Mbappe, there's Messi.
Sancho, add Sancho onto that.
Oh, there's Haaland in there, Lewandowski, Bale, Sancho, everybody, the whole crew. They all sitting there with Photoshop Man United shirts on. That's as close as you're going to get.
Yeah.
And then I'm ending it up on one here. My wonderful wife, Sarah, she takes pictures of all of my son's U13 matches, and she got this beauty of him fighting through. He plays striker. And a big shout out, by the way. They won their game 1-0 last night. Matt's son Tyler got the game-winning goal to go to 4 goals on the season, and Aiden's only at 3. Wow. And they had this rivalry going. It was the most beautiful thing ever. Tyler just scores this beauty, wins us the match, and Aiden just looks pissed, like he can't believe it. So I think it's a good rivalry, both of them. But this picture she took is just amazing. You see him, and you got 2 guys just fouling the crap out of him, and he's just fighting through going in. And so had to throw that out there. Shout out Aiden, number 5 on GCKA.
Photo credit to Sarah.
Photo credit to Sarah. So that's all I got, man. That's all we got this week.
That was a packed show. Great games. Liverpool looked good. Newcastle looked mediocre, like I said. It was fun, man. I love seeing Wellesley. It was good to see him again, you know?
I know. The new video is the way to go. I like it.
Way to go, man. All right, brother. I'll see you next week. Take it easy.
All right, man. See you.
Cheers.
That's our show for this week. Please check us out on Twitter at @rash_podcast, on Facebook at 2 Rash Challenges, or email us at 2rashchallenges@gmail.com. Also check out our website, 2rashchallenges.com, where you can find articles, videos, and photos. And if you like the show, tell a friend, and make sure you go to iTunes and give us a review. We'd really appreciate it. Until next time, for Eric, our producer and engineer Ezra Jack Lewis, our main man on the streets Andrew Wells, and myself, we say cheers.